Welcome, YouTubers. This is a quick breakdown of the history of the debt for the United States. I got this information. Let's see, where did I get this information from? Treasury. What is it? What is this place? Treasury Direct has given you historical. Let me just back up this page. It gives you a nice summary of the debt and where it, year by year, according to the Treasury Department. And the population I just pulled from Google something or another. So you just do a web search for those. You'll get those pretty quickly. Going back to Excel. And so back in 1790 is when we started recounting our debt. About the time we got incorporated after winning our independence. Getting that government up and going. So I've done it every 5 years here out to 2015. The debt is in billions. So the first year that we became a nation, we had about $71 million in debt. And a lot of that was due to, borrowing money to finance the War of Independence. So in the following years, we went up a little bit, just to stabilize ourselves the first 10 years. And then we started paying off our debt. Except for we had a war in 1812. And so you can see, we went from 53 million to 99 million, so almost doubled our debt. But relative, it was a $40 million upgrade. But then we started paying our debt again, and it went down, and it went basically down to zero in 1835. And then we had a crisis after it, but it didn't quite pop up, like $3 million, $15 million, 63, 35, 64, and then boom. Popped up to 2 billion, 2.6 billion from 64 million. That was due to the Civil War. So I'm out here. I'm in this column out here. I'm putting, we got this from foreign interest. We had a small war. We got it paid off. We had a small crisis. We had the Civil War. So you see stuff like war and crises have typically drawn up the debt, mostly war. And then through the balance of the 1800s, we stuck around the 1 to 2 billion. Turn of the century, started rising a little bit. I know in 1913 we went 16th Amendment, had the Federal Reserve, took us off. We were able to print our own reserve notes, became U.S. dollars. So the war, First World War, brought us up to 25 billion from 3 billion the 5 years prior. So huge increases, 48%. And then we started paying that down a little bit. And then we had sort of that late 1920s, 1929, we sort of had that big crisis rolling into 1930, global crisis based upon we had switched to the, international banking cartel back here. They jacked up the rates of us of borrowing money. And everybody, not just the U.S., a bunch of countries like Spain and everybody, Britain, France, and all those, Germany, had to renegotiate terms of the debts they carried, and so we basically went bankrupt. I think in 1933 you just look up 1933 bankruptcy, on the world when we Chapter 11, and we never really recovered from that. We've just always been a debtor nation since, and became a U.S. corporate government. Serving as a corporation. So we've since that point, we had to borrow a lot of money. Went up to 28 million, then it went to 42. So we've always been on this cycle. We had a huge World War II that drove up the 258 billion, and then we kind of stayed steady in the 200s, 300s, 300, and then we went off the gold standard, and now we are true fiat world. So we've kind of went up to 550. We went to 900, or just below a trillion. And then we sort of had the Cold War with the Reagan eras, and that's when it doubled here, basically doubled from there to there, kind of running that Cold War. We also, in the late, like 1987, we had a minor crisis crash, along with the beginning of, another sort of war in there, the Iraqi freedom, Desert Storm wars. But since that time, we've always had either had a little bit of war going on, not a major war, but a little bit of war, or we've just been doubling our our debt. I know we had another crisis in 2008, big housing global slump. That was around the world too. So we're now up to $18 trillion, 19 trillion, I think, in this year, 2016. But that's a quick history. I kind of put the debt per person. Our population started off at 4 million and has grown up to 320, 330 probably now or something. And the debt per population has grown, so now we're all owning over $56,000. But this is what it's been in the history. So it's just been a grow in terms of debt, and that's how we've been living. You get positive stuff out of debt. It keeps the economy going and stuff like that. But that's kind of a summary of it, and I just wanted to bring that to highlight. All right, thanks.